Well, Shelly Palmer, the author of Digital Wisdom, joins me now live in the studio to discuss this. Shelly, what do you think? We're hearing a lot of divisions about this. Is this the guy that's going to sort of rock things, shake things up, and lead Microsoft into the brave new future?
It's such a great question. You know, Microsoft is not a company, it's a country.
Yeah,
and it's got a government, and it's got states that are siloed and have their own way of doing things. And so I think what the market's saying is, wow, any change from Steve Ballmer is going to be a great change. And no offense to my good friend Steve Ballmer, but any change from where we are to where we're going to be is going to be awesome. But the company is so huge and so siloed and so lumbering and so wealthy.
Right, well, here's the thing, and that's a good thing and bad thing. One time, somebody once said to me a long time ago about a completely different thing, that sometimes it's good to be a dinosaur because it takes a long time to starve. You know, you have the sort of bulk to make it through, but they do need to find their way. Their size has been their strength, but their weakness because they're bureaucratic. They're seen as not being innovators. You know, he's an insider, so he knows the company well. I think he gets that time that he doesn't have to learn all the people's names and all that, but can he lead that innovation? Does he have the right background? I mean,
Look,
he's an engineer, he's a computer science guy.
When you talk about innovation and you talk about Microsoft, these really have nothing to do with one another.
Right.
Microsoft iterates, and they iterate as well as a company that size.
Do they need to innovate?
By the way, that is a fantastic strategic question. And what they are charged with and where they go, it's a schizophrenic company. You look at what they do at Xbox, which is as cutting edge as there is a thing to do.
They do have an innovative. They don't get credit for that often.
There are things that Microsoft does that just blow your mind. They're so cool. And then there's stuff that's so old school that it puts the old in old school. And so look, I don't know that one human being can actually move a culture, especially a culture as entrenched in Microsoft. But any movement will be positive movement. I think, look, an outsider like Alan Mulally or maybe Stephen Elop coming in would have been interesting.
Maybe that would have been too much change too soon. Could it be that, not that he's an interim, and no offense to Nadella, he may surprise us all, but that this is part of a transition. They're also maybe talking about taking Gates, giving him even less of a profile, maybe off the board. This would be a massive shift.
Right. There is some talk that John Thompson, who's the independent lead director, who actually was leading the search committee, would possibly replace Bill Gates as the chairman. So look, change is good. Adapting to change is important. Microsoft is in a place where it could sorely use some change.
You mentioned Ballmer being out and that being a good thing, because I mean, people were looking for it, but he was such a larger-than-life character.
He is
in some ways, you know, he was really the sort of sales and marketing force, the enthusiasm. Is something going to be lost by that with somebody who, again, we don't know well, you know, and if it turns out to be confirmed to be Nadella?
Here's the issue, and there's no way to get around this. Microsoft is the #1 operating system organization in the world. 92% of the computers on this planet run some version of Microsoft Windows or Windows operating system or Microsoft operating system. They act like they're #2 all the time.
Right.
And as enthusiastic and as awesome as Steve is in person, and when you meet him in person and you are just instantly taken by how charismatic and awesome he is in every way, the organization is everything but that. It is not awesome. There are pockets of awesomeness, but it is not awesome. And what has to go on at Microsoft right now is they have to either A, adapt to the world in which we are living, and by the way, their cloud and enterprise group is cutting edge.
It's rocking.
They're right where it needs to be.
The earnings were great.
So I think the market will respond positively to this. I think you have to give Microsoft the benefit of the doubt in this case. They have done everything right, no matter what anybody says. This is what computing is in the world. Yeah. Computing is Microsoft.
It's computing, right?
We could sit here and talk about whether it's good or bad or Monday morning quarterback or not. They have the responsibility to literally run the computers on the planet. And so far, they've done an awesome job doing that, except for the blue screens of death, which are limited and somehow minimized nowadays. That's not the only place
that they happen to. It's certainly going to be fun to watch the transition, and we'll have you back on again to give us the rundown. Thank you so much, Shelly.
All right.